Thank you, Mr. Spring, for coming in.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate the opportunity to interview for this management position.
How was the ride here?
It was a little congested.
Well,
Flight was a little delayed, but got some work done at the airport while I was waiting, so it ended up being all right.
Was it a big change coming to a big city like this? Where you're from?
I'm from a small farm town in Indiana. So yeah, I grew up on a dirt road, so this big city is definitely a different experience.
Yep, it's concrete jungle out here, so.
Hear that.
Okay, so just get to the point. This is for a management job for Adidas, the retail store. We are looking for somebody that is very career-driven and has a background in Adidas and has a love of sports and all that. So they know who our customers are and what they need. And you have previous experiences with management. You have a few years or so.
Yeah,
background.
I have a few years of retail management. Not quite as big of a store as Adidas, but I still know the ins and outs of the business. What to look for, what customers want, things like that.
Okay. Just tell me a little bit. You're very customer oriented since you work retail, I would assume. What's a little more about your background, your academic standards, understanding?
Academic standing. Okay, I graduated from an extension of Purdue University with a degree in organizational leadership. So what the curriculum is how to work and lead groups of people in a business setting. And with my previous experience in retail, I did that day to day. I would communicate to lower level supervisors on what needs to get done that day. So I had about 30 people under me at one time.
Okay, that's very good to hear. Do you have any special skills that's more geared towards this customer service?
Yeah,
that like stands you out from everybody else, or?
I've had numerous. When I was a manager and even a supervisor and just a regular sales employee, countless customers would give compliments to my superiors about how well I took care of them, how good their shopping experience was, and when they left the store, they said they would definitely want to come back because of that experience that I gave them. And I would have a lot of customers who would come in and ask specifically for me, or call in and ask if I was there that day, or when I was going to be working next, so they could come in, talk to me, and they could get taken care of.
Okay, that sounds very good. What is some of the most useful criticism that you received, and how did that affect you?
Well, there was a situation at my previous store where I thought I was communicating things very well to my subordinates, but that wasn't the popular consensus. So they had a meeting. They sat me down and said, "What we need, more heads up, more time before you communicate to us, so we can get ready." For instance, there was Black Friday was coming up, and I decided that it would be a good idea that our store open an hour early, so people would come to us first. And I didn't, I kind of dropped the ball a little bit on communicating that to everyone, so that was kind of a frantic moment, and that was one of the things that they addressed in the sit-down that they had with me, that I maybe should communicate a little bit better, and I definitely learned from that.
Okay. Do you have any short or long-term goals that you have right now?
Well, this is one of my long-term goals. It's a very prominent position within a large company, so sky's the limit with you guys.
Yeah, that's good. You have to be organized for this job, in which I can see that you probably are already. What tools or what kind of habits do you have that help you stay organized?
Well, I have a schedule and my phone, And that keeps me very organized. I always know what things I have coming up, and what time it is, what day it is, and I can look forward and see, this week I have this, and this on, Tuesday, Thursday. So having that on me at all times helps me keep myself organized. Whenever anything comes up, I stop, take a minute, put it on my phone, put it away. So that has been a very good tool for me.
Okay.
So I always know what's going on.
So all the technology around, you're using that to your advantage.
Yeah, I utilize technology very well.
Okay. How well do you react to problems, or if a situation comes, how do you handle that, or something goes wrong?
Something goes wrong. I try to not get too excited or hot-headed. I try to, relax, take a deep breath, address the situation from a level head.
Okay.
I think that's best. I think often things get out of hand when you react negatively, right off the bat. Where if you come into it, calm, collected, I think things get done better.
Okay. So you've been with retail for a while in sales. Why did you exactly choose this, and what made you want to stay with it?
Well, I play golf a lot, and I really like the Adidas golf line, as well as TaylorMade. I know they have a good partnership. So that's immediately what attracted me to it, and it's just a bigger market. Big city is, there's more potential here than at my previous location. So that's one of the big things that attracted me.
Okay. Since you do have a background with our company, do you know who our competitors are and what they have to offer?
Definitely.
What do you think that you can offer to our company to help us compete against them?
Well, I think, not to harp on golf too much, but I'm very into the sport. So I know what Adidas and TaylorMade produce every year. I know what Nike's coming out with. I'm very in tune with all the new latest and greatest technology of all the different companies. And I think since I know what the other companies have to offer, I can kind of relate how Adidas would be better for the customer than maybe one of the other competitors. So I think I could get a lot of return customers who will be loyal to the Adidas name instead of maybe only being a one-time shopper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to bring them back more, that's what we really need. With your previous jobs, what was your biggest achievement, and how? What was the result that you produced there that you're most proud of?
Well, my biggest achievement of my previous employer would be that I was hired in as just entry-level sales, and within 2 years I was promoted to sales manager. Within my time as an entry-level salesperson, I increased my sales 50% the first year, and then that led into a supervisor role, which I then was able to help my entire department increase levels 20% over the next 6 months. And then there was an opening for the management position, and I applied, and I took that, and then the store's growth has been very consistent since I've been in a management position there.
Okay. Could you tell me more of a difficult decision that you had to make recently? How did you handle it? What was your thought process through that process?
At my old store, there was it was an electronics retailer, and this person came in with a cellular phone that it was obvious that it had been dropped in a puddle of water, or toilet, or something like that. There was water damage. Little stickers on the battery were beet red, and they came in insisting that they didn't drop it in water. It's never touched water. It's never been, out of their sight. It's always been either in their pocket or in, on their desk charging. And I had to very politely tell the customer that it's obvious that there's water damage. There's nothing we can do. And then that customer became irate. I started yelling and screaming, me calling him a liar, and it was, I created a scene, and I had to very calmly not let my personal emotions get in the way, and I had to stay calm and just politely tell the customer that there was nothing we could do with them, because it's not in our policy, and the phone was obviously damaged, and it was their fault. So that was one of the more difficult times where I had to stick to my guns, where I could have easily made an exception, return the phone so the guy would stop screaming. But I was proud of myself in that moment.
Could you tell me a time that you did something at a previous job that someone else in your role might not have normally have done?
Okay. Like I said, I grew up in a small town. I have small town values. One day, an elderly woman was walking out of the store. She dropped a wad of cash, and I noticed it. I know there might be some people out there who would have let her drive off, maybe went and casually picked up the wad of cash and just not told anybody about it and just went on with their day. I didn't. I went outside, I picked up the wad of cash, and I ran the lady down the parking lot and gave it to her. And I can speak for myself. I would do that every time, but I don't know if maybe some other people would have done that same thing given the situation.
Since this is a management position, what is your philosophy about management? Why do you think certain people fail, like store closings, if it's the management's fault, or what's your view of that?
At the end of the day, I think a manager is supposed to be stern, but still be personable with their employees. And I think the reason that I was so successful in moving up in my last company is because I was very open with my employees. I would routinely schedule roundtable meetings where we would sit down and discuss everything that's going on. I just made myself very available to my employees, and I think that's one of the downfalls of maybe some of the other managers out there. They just try to control everything and run everything with an iron fist, where I take a more laissez-faire approach to it. But there are times where you need to get down to business, and that's maybe one place where I struggle. Since I am so laid back, when it becomes time to get stuff done, maybe be more directive. Some of my employees don't take me seriously right away. So in that moment, I don't have maybe as much control as I would like.
Okay. Well, we are running a little bit short on time now. Did you have any questions about the position or anything?
I know it's retail. Retail hours are crazy. What would a typical work week be like hours-wise?
Outside of holiday, be from 40 to 50, depending on the shift or the assistants. It'll be a little more during Christmas because of the seasonal.
Understand.
So, big 10 to 12-hour days. So.
And what about compensation? Because I would have to relocate. So let's say I do get the job. Is there any relocation assistance or anything like that?
Usually, right now they would cover up to $8,000 of the moving costs.
$8,000. Okay, that's reasonable. Do you have any other questions for me?
No. We have your phone number from your resume.
Okay.
We should be getting back to you within a week or so. If you don't hear from us, just call us.
Okay.
Just to make sure that we still got it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Appreciate the opportunity.
Yep.
Thank you.